In this video, we're going to be looking at the future value function in Excel using your MAT043 workbook. We'll be looking at pages 147 and 148. So for this, you have a video in the lesson on using the equals FV function. So we're going to look at these three examples and determine some future values using Excel. Now also in the lesson, you should have an Excel file, and when you open the Excel file, you should open it and it should be on problem 1, and it already has the question in there and a place for you to put in some of our data. So let's go ahead and look at that. So for number 1, it says determine the future value in a savings account that has an initial value of $2,505.22 if it earns interest compounded monthly at an APR of 4% for 3 years. So let's go ahead and fill in the values we know into our items here. So our APR is 4%. Our in value, remember that's our number of compounding periods. Since it's compounded monthly, that would be 12. Our Y value is our number of years, so 3 years. We don't have a PMT. You can either leave this blank or put 0. Our P value, or our PV, that's our principal amount. So that would be our $2,505.22. And then we're going to use Excel to calculate our future value. So we'll use the equals and FV and then parentheses. And notice it gives us a little kind of hint here of the things we're going to use. You can use cell references or you can type in the numbers. I'm going to use cell references since we're here in Excel. So first we would have our rate, which would be our APR, divided by our compounding periods, comma, and then our number of years times our compounding periods. You could put B5 times B6 or B6 times B5. The order there doesn't really matter since we're just multiplying. And then we're going to have our PMT. We don't actually have a PMT, but we have to include a space for it in our formula. So we'll put a negative, and then I can click on that cell B7, comma, and then our last one will be our PV, or our previous value, our principal amount. Also has to have a negative, and then I'll click on that cell. I'm going to end with my parentheses and hit enter. And so our future value will be $2,824.06. Now let's look at example 2. For example 2, we have what will be the balance in an account in 10 years if the initial balance of $2,500 earns interest at 12% compounded quarterly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my APR, so my 12%. My in value, this is quarterly, so quarterly means it happens 4 times in a year. That would be 4 for 10 years, so my Y value is 10. Again, we don't have a payment here, so I'm going to put in 0. My principal amount is that $2,500 or $2,500. And then for our A, or our future value, we're just going to use our formula again. So equals FV. And since on the last one I did the cell references, this time I'm just going to type it in. So we would have 12%. Make sure if you're typing it in, you do put the percent sign, divided by our number of compounding periods, which is 4. Comma, and then our number of compounding periods 4 times our number of years 10, comma, our PMT again, we have to have a placeholder for that, so that would be negative 0, comma, and then our principal amount negative 2,500, and our parentheses, and enter. And so in 10 years our future value will be $8,155.09. All right, let's look at our last example here, example 3. if $10,000 is deposited in a bank account for 15 years that earns interest compounded at 3% or 3.5% monthly, what is the future value of the deposit? So putting in my APR, 3.5%. Our in value, since we're compounding monthly, would be 12. Number of years in this case is 15. Still, we don't have a payment, so 0. Our principal amount, $10,000. Oops. And so now I'm going to use our Excel formula, the FV function. Oops. Equals FV, parentheses. I'll go back to doing cell references for this one. So our APR divided by our in, comma, our in value times our y value, comma, our payment, so negative, and then that payment value, or the cell, and then our principal, so negative, and then that cell value. In my parentheses, so for this one we will have $16,891.68 for our future value. In the next video in this lesson, you're going to be using GoalSeek to help you find missing parts. So you will use this video and that video to help you with the practice problems in this lesson. Also, make sure you're using this Excel file that is posted in the lesson and in Blackboard to help you complete it. There are places for you to put in information from the video and for the practice problems. And then you will upload this file for your quick check or in your quick check for this lesson.